So we are live. Um, Thank you so much for joining. I was trying to get it's when you want to go live, you see a lot of things popping up here and there.
Yeah, always.
Yeah.
But this is exciting. This is exciting. Mhm.
So hello everyone, and welcome to today's special edition of Audible Talents Live. I'm Franklin, and joined by an amazing co-host.
Thank you so much, Franklin. I'm so thrilled to be here. And I'm so thrilled to have all of you joining us today because we are going to be diving into a groundbreaking advancement. And it's all about artificial intelligence. And we'll be looking specifically at OpenAI's operator.
Yeah, that's right, Tope. Operator. Operator is set to actually redefine how we interact with AI, moving beyond simple
Mhm,
chatbots to
mhm,
autonomous agents that can
mhm, mhm,
perform real world tasks. And today, we will unpack everything about it, its
mhm.
capacity, its capabilities, the industry shift towards agent-based AI, its ethical implication, and how this evolution will actually impact careers and industry. I say that again, careers and industries, because
That is the very, very interesting part. So, guys, we want you to stick with us because that's a very, very interesting area that you would really, really want to hear about. So, we are going to talk about how it touches you in particular. Those of you listening to us, those of you watching us, and we're also going to talk about how you can future-proof your skill, how you can guard your skill in this rapidly changing landscape that we are in. So, guys, just stick around with us. Don't go anywhere. Stay tuned. It's going to be an amazing, value-packed hour.
all right, let's just jump right into it. Okay. Operator, Tope, can you just let our listeners actually have a
Yeah.
feel of what we're talking about today? What is an operator? What is OpenAI
Okay.
operator?
Yes, thank you so much. Absolutely, Franklin. I would be delighted to tell so our listeners and those watching us. So Operator is OpenAI's new AI agent. And um, Operator has been designed to perform, tasks autonomously, independently, and it can do things like booking travel, coding, managing workflows and different things like that. So all of these things, the AI agent is able to do it without, you know, any constant human input. So yes, we might have some human input, but it has been minimized to the bare, it has been brought to the barest minimum. So unlike the traditional chatbots that we already are very familiar with, this operator that we are talking about, it doesn't just respond to queries like those ones, the traditional chatbots that we are used to. You put in prompts, you put in queries, and then they respond. This one that we are talking about, the operator, it completes the entire process independently without prompts.
Oh, wow, that's amazing. And to think that this is not just a vision, because OpenAI
Mhm,
says they're actually launching this operator in
mhm.
January. But though
Yeah.
they're going to give early access to developers, I can think about this as a very big leap, from ChatGPT or BARD or
Mhm,
Gemini. How would this take place? Like, I'm just trying to imagine.
So honestly, it's a big leap. We've heard of ChatGPT, we've heard of BARD, now you're hearing of Bard, or now Gemini. So Bard became Gemini. And then so many of them like that. So it's exciting because operator can jump between browsers. Now, just you think about that. You open multiple browsers on your laptop, and this operator by OpenAI that we're talking about can jump between those browsers. So it can actually do things independently. It can handle multi-steps, okay, autonomously. So those are the words that we are bringing here now. It can handle multi-steps, instructions. It can handle them autonomously. And wait for this, it can adapt. It can adapt to real life. If something changes, it can adapt based on those unexpected things that happen. So it's like a virtual assistant on steroids.
Yeah, so so
It's amazing.
so I think it's not. I mean, it's going to be a tool, a very amazing tool that doesn't
Mm-hmm,
just depend on instructions. So it takes initiatives by
yeah,
itself to actually
yeah,
do the
yeah.
needful instead of coming back to you all the
Mm-hmm,
time. But I also heard that it's not just OpenAI that is working on this kind of agent tool.
mm-hmm,
Right,
mm-hmm,
before we actually get to how this is going to affect the industry. So I also heard that companies like Anthropic, companies like Microsoft, Google, they are
mm-hmm,
developing similar agent-based AI.
mm-hmm. This is honestly, it's really interesting. And like you said, before we even look into the industry and see how this really affects it, I want us to look at the trajectory. We started the AI revolution, and then we started talking about generative AI. We thought we had gotten to the highest, and
Yeah.
now as we are going into 2025, we are talking about autonomous AI. Only God knows what we are going to be talking about in 2026. So, frankly, it's really interesting. But let's talk about this shift, okay, that is happening in this AI industry. Why is everyone moving? Why do you think everyone is moving toward agent-based AI?
Yeah, that's a great question. It's something that I've actually thought about. So when I looked at, ChatGPT ChatGPT, when ChatGPT launched, there was something that came to my mind. I was thinking, I said, how does ChatGPT actually, because by the time it launched, it was free. So they weren't
Mm-hmm,
actually collecting any kind of fee for usage. So I went back and researched their books, and I found out that they were owing a lot of money. They weren't actually,
mm,
so many capitalists have found as actually giving them funds, and they were still owing a lot. So the financials were not actually balancing. So I think that agent-based AI can make open AI more profitable. So in the sense that more companies that actually have the finance can now, take on that service and pay huge amounts of money. So many
mm,
companies are actually betting on this autonomous AI because they want to actually reduce what they're paying overhead. So look at
yeah.
it, for instance. So for companies like Microsoft, for instance, that pay millions of dollars overhead costs, and then you have an autonomous AI where you can actually do a subscription of $50,000 or $100,000 a month. So which of them would
Mm-hmm.
you rather go for? So of course, it's the autonomous AI. I think this is why companies are moving towards agent-based AI, and because it's going to, of course, cut costs in the long run, and also kind of reduce the over dependence on human workers.
Yeah, that is, yeah. What you are saying is actually true. And, before we just go on, I just want to say thank you again to those who are joining us. I can see that some people are actually on now, and they are looking at, they are really following the discussion. And guys, you can just easily go into the comment section to be a part of this conversation. So if you have any comments, any questions, or any thoughts around what we are talking about, just drop your comments there, and we'll be happy to interact and talk about it. So frankly, what you are saying now, it's really interesting because it's not even just open AI. Just like we said when we started, you did mention Anthropic, and Anthropic's AI builds websites. We were just having some conversations not too long ago that building of websites is not even in vogue anymore. So we'll be talking about some skills later. I don't want to jump the gun. So Anthropic's AI, it builds websites, it manages spreadsheets. Now Microsoft's Magnetic-one, that's what they call their own Magnetic-one. It
No, you
focuses
mean
on making
magentic.
so
Because I know it looks
magentic.
confusing. You might say magnetic, but it's magentic-one. Yeah.
Okay, magentic-one. Sorry, and all
Yes.
these different names, they will not kill us. So Microsoft's Magentic-one.
One.
Okay, it
Yes.
focuses on making agent-based tools open source. Okay, so then even Google has its own. It's working on so many AI agents in development. So we have a lot of big players, big boys in the AI space that are actually working on this right now.
Yes. These agents, believe me, these agents
Mm-hmm.
they're going to represent the future, right?
Yeah.
So they're not just trying to make work done faster. They are going to improve the efficiency. They're going to be
Mm-hmm.
transforming tasks. Now you mentioned something. Imagine an AI jumping from tab to tab, performing your
Mm-hmm.
market research, scheduling your calendars, booking flights for you, and even reaching out to clients on your behalf. So from
Yeah.
automating customer service to optimizing workflows in industries like healthcare, retail,
Mm-hmm.
in fact, name it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So imagine what this would actually be for us. But let's try to even look at the practical applications and the real world impact
Yeah.
of this topic.
Yeah. So let's really dive into that. Let's look at the practicability of all of these things that we are talking about. Because sometimes when we are talking about this, it will be like some of these AI movies. Somebody was telling me that all these movies that we are watching, they are now becoming reality, and honestly, they are. So imagine booking a flight, and the operator now specifies your preferences, and it handles everything for you. It searches the flights for you, it filters those flights, for you, and it even does your payment.
Wow,
Honestly, that
wow,
is everything.
that's
Do you
that's that's
remember that? Yeah. You remember there was one company that was doing something around travel agents. If you remember, if you recall that time, there was a company that reached out and was talking
yes.
about recruiting travel. This is actually what that business model is really about. And now operator
That
is able
business
to
is
do
dead.
all of that.
That
I'm telling
that business is there. So that's a game changer.
you.
That's a game changer. Now think of
Yeah.
how much time that this autonomous AI can actually save. So beyond traveling, these operators can actually help you code a software.
Mm-hmm.
So, for instance, you
Mm.
might just be looking at
Amazing.
jumping into a business where you need an app. The operator, you can just tell the operator, "Hey, see, I this is no." What we're doing with ChatGPT now is that there's so much human interference with ChatGPT now. So we're actually chatting
Mm-hmm.
with ChatGPT, so it's kind of laborious. But what they're saying is that for a tool like operator, you just need to start from the beginning and say, probably maybe you want to launch a business. You just give it instruction and say, I want to start a business. Like I want to start maybe probably a basketball business. And please figure out everything. I want the email done. I want the website done. I want the market research done. I want the leads done and all that. So it will just start working from day one. It will just kind of
Mm-hmm.
list all the schedules, all the things is going to work throughout the months for you. And probably you just be
Mm-hmm.
sleeping, or even maybe try to supervise it to see whether it's doing
Mm-hmm.
what it's going to do. But I don't think there will be any need to supervise because it will actually be giving you updates on
Yeah.
what what he's doing at a particular time, right? So it's
Mm-hmm.
a game
Mm-hmm.
changer. So it's good to even organize complex workflows. So those workflows that we have, even at Audible Talents, where we tend to use things like Asana. use platforms like, to organize those things. So what
Yeah.
operator would also do is that it will organize those workflows themselves. So even if you want to
Mhm.
reach out to a web developer, maybe to look at if there'll be need, they would also help you organize those things. I'm just thinking on top of my head right now. It's going to be really, really mind blowing, and this is going to be
It
launched
is.
next year. Next
Yeah,
year.
yeah. So January next year, this is going to be launched. And what we are talking about,
Mm.
this operator that we're actually talking about is like a personal assistant that works 24/7. So just like Franklin said, you just need to just initiate it. And once that is done, you can actually go to sleep. I mean, I have looked at some companies that are actually, looking at this very closely right now. Salesforce has what they call agent force, and now I also heard about service now. They are also building things around this autonomous AI. So last year our ear was ringing from generative AI. So come 2025 is going to be autonomous AI. It's going to be AI agents. So Franklin, let's all this talk is good, but let's not ignore the elephant in the room. What about
Oh,
impact on jobs?
the
Jobs.
elephant, the elephant, the elephant in the room is so obvious. I think
Mm-hmm,
this elephant is huge. This elephant is
mm-hmm,
humongous because you are right, Tope, you are very, very right. The elephant in the room. Autonomous agents are going to displace a lot of people, right? So I'm thinking on
ma'am.
top of my head right now. Now, do you know how
Mm-hmm,
many customer service agents that are
mm-hmm,
that are on Upwork right now, for instance, on Upwork, right?
mm-hmm,
On
mm-hmm,
Fiverr. Do you know how many
mm-hmm.
of them? I think they are running into millions. So
A lot, a lot. Mm-hmm,
one operator from OpenAI can displace millions of customer service. Now, not just that, let's talk about administrative support. At some point, when I started on Upwork, I was doing administrative support. So by
mm-hmm,
now, assuming maybe I did not transition, by now I would have probably be looking for where to run to. So administrative support is gone. um like we talked about flight booking service is gone. Now let's not look at
it's
it's
gone.
not just freelancing. We're talking about businesses, real businesses, right? So there are
Mm-hmm,
people who actually book flights for people. That is their job. Now what they are saying is that a operator will actually reach out to the company, book the flight, and tell you about your flight details,
yeah.
right? Even make
Mm-hmm,
payments for you if you allow it. So
mm-hmm.
I don't know, and I don't know if there's any job left in 2025.
Honestly.
I don't think there's any job left. So if if operator, like, think about it. Like, if operator can actually do all that, there is nothing left except for the developers. Maybe people who are actually the developers, right? So
Mm-hmm,
there is no job left. But they can also create. Let's look at it this way. We've just looked at um, maybe the downsides. Now let's look at the upside, right? So I think that they can also create opportunities. They can create
yeah.
high value jobs.
Mm-hmm,
But there's a but there. These high value jobs are only available for for creative thinkers, right? For creative thinkers. Because when I heard this, the first thing I started thinking about was, what is the job opportunity here? Do you know the number one job opportunity that came to my mind? The number one job
mm-hmm.
opportunity that came to my mind is antivirus for AI companies. Because I mean anti-bugs. Let's talk about anti-bugs. Because, for
Okay.
instance, it will get to a point where these operators will be they might pick up bugs from somewhere, right? And
Mm-hmm,
they will break down.
mm-hmm,
They will start malfunctioning. So there needs to be the kind of skill around that will help debug, to debug the agent. So when you can successfully
mm-hmm,
debug the agent picks up again and starts working, right?
mm-hmm,
So this
mm-hmm.
is just one that came to my mind. I didn't even think much. So there are actually other opportunities that can actually spring up from this
Definitely.
if you think about it well. So if you are in customer service, if you are in administrative support and all those small repetitive tasks, even up to data entry, it's time up for you. Please roll up your sleeves to get a new skill. It's time. Talk.
Yeah, honestly, frankly, what you are saying, we cannot stress it enough. if you're a freelancer, if you are somebody who offers your skill, it's very important for you to quickly identify how you can start potting and how you can start moving into this strategic, this niches or these skills that require strategic thinking and creativity. For example, in the administrative space, if you are still thinking about writing minutes, joining meetings and writing minutes, that job is gone. AI, we have apps like otter.ai that does that, that summarizes the minutes of that meeting, that writes transcripts about it, and that even sometimes when you use it for HR related things like interviews, at the end of the day, it will actually advise the HR person whether to hire the candidates based on the conversation or based on the interview that you had. So it's really important to just start thinking outside the box and just make some changes that you need to make. All right, so finally, let's look at ethical changes and regulation. All right. With all this great power comes great responsibility.
Of
I
course.
really know that. So, what are the ethical changes with tools like Operator? What are those ethical changes that we feel will come?
The big one, the biggest one I'm worried
Hmm,
about is privacy.
hmm,
Privacy.
eh,
Now, because how can you authorize something to actually take your, I mean, make payments on your behalf? And you know,
mhm,
you know, privacy,
mhm,
comes with security. So if you're no longer, if your interactions or whatever is no longer private, because once an operator starts working with you, there are a lot of data that is going to be given. There are a lot of data that is going to be in their database, and so
mhm,
they're going to keep your payment details. They're going to even look at all the places that you have been. They're going to keep watching them.
mhm,
So privacy. And once your privacy is not guaranteed, there is a kind of loophole that it creates for insecurity, right? So you become insecure, and with the trends of the Yahoo Yahoo and stuff going on, this is
mhm,
another way for them to, because they can easily trick the operator if they know how to retrain. They can actually retrain the operator to perform tasks that are not what you actually envisage. Now, that is one. Privacy.
mhm,
I can talk about privacy for long. Like I can just go on and on and on. But let's talk about accountability. Now, accountability in the sense that now, how would this AI actually account, like how would he because humans do a lot of things. Humans do a lot of reporting, a lot of make sure that they
yeah,
monitor, they look at the in-depth analysis of using the human thought and the human intelligence. Now, what happens to accountability when we are looking at AI? And then finally, bias. So how do we judge bias when we're looking at AI? Because like what we talked about, you see that when you give autonomy to AI, it thinks on its own. So it operates on
mhm,
its own. So if it performs some things that are rash, who do you hold accountable? Is it the owner of the AI, or the AI company, or the AI itself? Would you arrest the
mm,
AI if they if they break into other people's privacy, right? Would you arrest them? Like, these are the things that you know probably we need to really look at them. I think the international community should start calling and asking questions, asking these AI companies, asking them great questions. What? How do we judge? Like, how do we tackle the problem of privacy? How do we look at accountability? How do we
mhm,
look at bias? That what happens if the operator makes a bad decision? Who is responsible? Who's responsible for faulty data? Who's responsible for transparency in decision making? So these are the things that we're looking at. So we see a very huge problem. But obviously, big techs, they are blinded by the funds coming from the capitalists. Nobody wants to look at these things until they now start creating problems. But trust me,
mm,
as this is happening, a lot of people are actually going to look for a way to reverse engineer this to make these real problems for them. And that's where they start actually making money.
mm. And don't forget, Franklin, as you have mentioned these areas, accessibility is another thing that we need to
Mhm.
look at. So, will these tools be available only to the big corporations, or will the smaller businesses also be able to tap into this? So, policymakers need to just ensure that they can find a way to make sure this kind of technology that we are talking about is available to everybody. I know you were saying some things around the kind of funds, or the kind of funding that is needed to be able to create such a thing as what we are talking about, and somehow that puts small businesses in some form of disadvantaged position. Or what's your opinion about that?
Yes. So, when operator becomes available, there's going to be a kind of gap. I've said it
Mm,
before. There'll be a lacuna between big companies and small companies, in the sense that,
mm,
firstly, these tech companies will start rolling out this solution to big companies who can actually afford them. So, but smaller
mhm,
companies would not be able to afford them. Many of them will not be able to afford them at the initial stages. So companies that are just startups, maybe companies that are between 2 to 10 employees, they might not be able to afford this. So definitely, they might go out of business. They might go out of business not because they can't afford it, but because the big companies are going to acquire these AI systems and then use them to move faster than them. So before you know it, the market is going to slow down for these small. So you see the big companies, they keep expanding their total addressable market, right? While the small companies will start shrinking naturally
mm,
because they have the advantage over them, right? And then, apart from what you have just identified, we're also looking at energy consumption. Now,
mm,
how do you sustain this system? Now, because for you to actually have an operator, because I know some companies like Google, I know some companies like Cisco, or even Nvidia. These companies are going to acquire more than 10 operators from different departments.
mm,
And for you to run these operators, you need to actually get the right infrastructure. You need power. You need energy. Now, the world is trying to move away from fossil fuel, from coal,
mm.
and now we're moving towards energy. I mean,
Clean energy.
green energy, right? Or renewable energy. And now renewable energy and green energy is not even, they're not even ready to take over yet from fossil
Mhm,
fuel. In fact, the world still uses more than 60% of fossil fuel and coal and all that to generate, right? So how is it going to be sustained? Now, running these large AI models requires massive energy resources. OpenAI has suggested using renewable energy to address this, but I doubt this is even
mm,
it's even achievable, because how many solar panels, how many lithium batteries are you going to actually acquire or put together to power ChatGPT? ChatGPT has more than how many million subscribers? It's not even up to the half of what is going to be subscribed in the coming years. So when these
mm.
people join the platform and then you build an operator AI on top of this, how do you keep the energy going? These are the questions.
Honestly, those are the questions that we are looking at right now, and those are some of the
Mhm.
challenges that we are envisaging, even as we are talking about this AI, the autonomous AI, and all of that. All right, so frankly, let's move into preparing for the future now. Let's look at, because a lot of people that are listening to us and watching us right now, I know that they might be having some questions in their minds, and they may be thinking that, okay, the way AI, the way things are just moving so fast, is like when we used to have all these smartphones. Before you even get to the point of knowing how to figure out a particular maybe an iPhone or a smartphone that was released, you are still trying to figure out how to go about that one. Another one will be released. Before you get on that one, another one will be released. So how do we prepare for this future? What is the best way for those watching us right now to stay ahead in the AI driven world?
Like what we were talking, we were discussing this earlier before the live conversation. So now we're
Yes.
looking at AI. AI is here, whether you like it or not. AI is going to remain here, and
Mm-hmm.
you don't try to fight it. Don't try to say no, no. I prefer human. No, it's going to be here for a very long time. So I think one of the things that we should be looking at for is upskilling. We need to upskill. We need to start looking at how you can actually become a programmer, right, or a developer, rather, so that you can take part. You can actually have a chunk of the cake, because a lot of investments are actually being poured into AI right now. So say over 25 there are over 25 other AI technologies that create multiple income streams. There are many of them. So you just need to sit down and look at where you can benefit from this, especially when it gets to actually upskilling yourself. Go to AI training schools and learn those skills. So, but apart from AI, we're talking about the trends that will be available. So we know AI automation that have come to stay in 2025. But one thing again that we have to also look at is content creation and influencer marketing. Content creation is one place that AI has tried to actually disrupt that, but it cannot actually disrupt that entirely, because we need humans to create content. This is what I'm talking about. So for you to create relatable content, except you want to start making contents for AI, that's when you now start saying, okay, let AI take over. But it's not AI that does the scrolling. There are billions of people scrolling through Instagram, scrolling through YouTube every day. So one thing that you can surely invest in is creating content. Creating content. Pick up a niche and start creating content. Start making content. Set up a YouTube channel. This is one place that AI cannot touch you, but AI is going to touch virtually almost every industry. So one thing I'm going to leave to make sure I leave is upskilling. Then look at the trends.
Mm-hmm. Very, very true. And you see, it's not just even in the tech area now. Yes, we are saying that, jumping into tech-related skills is actually one way to go when you're looking at upskilling. So, but, even we are looking at anyone from marketers to students, okay, you can actually benefit from what is happening right now. Just think about how you can build skills that will make you indispensable. When we are talking about marketers, we are saying that businesses will always want to look for ways of marketing. The only way is how you can now embrace this AI and bring it into your marketing process. So that is one of the ways that it's really going to help you. So whether you are even automating workflows like project managers, we are working with Asana, we are working with ClickUp, and all of these things, they have these applications or these softwares have integrated AI into what they are doing. If you are into creating courses and stuffs like that, all of these things have integrated AI into it. So you have to upskill to the point where you are building workflows, you are creating new business opportunities, whether you're a freelancer or you're a small business owner, you are actually using AI to create those things. So you find out that once you upskill yourself to that level, you will be part of the people that will be, riding this tide, this AI agent tide.
Yeah. So what we're saying in kind of in summary is that the bottom line is, don't fear the change. Don't fear the change. Embrace it. Look for ways to collaborate with AI instead of competing with it. Now, I jumped onto a platform that, when we're talking about how we could remodify some websites, I jumped onto a platform called boat.new. Both.new actually helps you to create websites from scratch, and then it will like you keep giving it prompt on what it should remove or what it should include, and then at the end of the day you can even publish the website. So no code, absolutely no code. The platform writes the code by itself according to what you describe to it. So this is just the beginning. A lot of things are going to keep popping up. So you just need to follow the trend, follow what's happening, and of course, follow Audible Talents.
Yeah, so Audible Talents will always be bringing you the latest in the AI space. So if you just want somewhere where you can come and really get the latest gists of what is happening in the AI space, Audible Talents is just the place to go. All right, so frankly, let's see how we can tie up all what we have been saying, because I know we have been discussing quite a number of things. And even like before we jumped on, we also talked about the education space, how what is happening right now is affecting the educational sector, and how our children are already seeing this lag that is happening. I mean, with AI now, they can learn a lot of things online with with content in YouTube and all of that. They are learning a lot of things, and even the educational sector is beginning to look like I don't know right anymore. So a lot of jobs are going to be shaking at this time. So, but what we have just been saying, or for a few minutes now, to tidy up all what we have been talking about, is operators' capabilities and its potential to impact on industries and careers. We have looked at how it touches various industries, various niches for those of us that are freelancers. And we are saying that it's not even skill based alone. It's also in the educational sector, in so many sectors now. AI is really threatening threatening these careers. But we are trying to also say that the way out of it is upskilling. Frankly, what are your final thoughts too?
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. Tools like Operator aren't just about convenience. They are going to shape the future of the world, and the key thing is to adapt, upskill, and use
Mm,
these tools to our advantage. A lot of things are going to be wiped off. And educational platforms are gone, long gone, because when you sit down with ChatGPT, you sit down with Gemini, they would actually school you for a lifetime, right? They can download a year's knowledge in
mhm.
30 minutes. So you don't need to you don't actually going to start subscribing for a lot of courses and all that. So educational system is gone already. So but we need to keep moving. We need to keep moving. We need to keep adapting. We need to upskill. We need to use these tools to our advantage. Embrace it. Embrace it. That's it. That's it, Tope.
Honestly, embrace it, guys. There's really nothing we can do other than to embrace it. So I want to thank everybody again for joining us on this call. It's been an amazing few seconds where we have looked at operator AI, and honestly, we've said so many things, and would like to hear from you. And like we said, at some point when we're talking about this, we want to hear from you. So just go into the comment section and leave your thoughts. If you have any questions, or anything whatever it is that is going through your mind as you are watching this, just go into the comment section and leave it. How do you see this tool, the operator that we are talking about? How do you see it changing your work? How do you see it changing your industry? Drop your thoughts. We always want to hear from you, and you can just feel free to join our community as well. We are on LinkedIn, at Audible Talents. You can also find us on Instagram at my audibletalents.com. Sorry, what's that, our channel again?
Freelancing
We
with
have,
Audible.
oh, sorry, freelancing with Audible. Yeah, freelancing with Audible on Instagram. So you can follow us there as well. So would really, really love to hear from you.
Yeah, so and don't forget, Audible Talents is here to help you navigate through this evolving landscape. So just like we started our journey, it just like we started as freelancers, but I can tell you that we are evolving. So we want you to evolve with us. So there are a lot of things that will happen that will keep reeling out, that will help you change your mindset right now. So check out our resources everywhere. Go to our website, www.audibletalents.com. Stay tuned for more insights. We are going to be doing this live regularly. So we're going to be, I think this should be coming up every week. So next week we're going to put out I know this was very short. So next week we're going to put out our next topic by probably by Monday, or maybe by the end of this week, so that we'll know, Tope,
Yeah.
what people will know what we're going to talk about next. So, but until
Mhm.
next time, I'm just going to leave you with 2 words or 3 words: keep learning and growing. Okay, and bye for now.
Bye.
Bye, guys.